Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. It is so good to see you. It has honestly felt like forever since I've actually sat down and done a catch-up video, but that is exactly what you're gonna get today. I've got actually my empty coffee mug because I already drank my little drink that you saw me make in the beginning. Drank my little drink. We're starting off strong. But yeah, today's video is just going to be kind of a life catch-up slash life updates video. I asked you guys what video you wanted to see on Instagram, and this was the most voted one. I try to honor that as much as possible whenever I do those polls on my Instagram stories. And I just felt like I needed to do a sit-down video because so much has been going on in Justin and I's lives. And still some of it I can't go into a lot of detail about, and I'll tell you why soon. But we have just been in a really weird season. And if you are family or close friends of ours, you probably know some of those details. But it's been kind of a hard past like month or 6 weeks or so, and I usually am really hesitant to get into like overly personal things online. I've done that before and then have just realized as I've gotten older and gotten wiser, hopefully, that it's not always the best to share like what you're actively going through if you are sharing things online, because it just can blur boundary lines and not give you the space to actually process things. But I feel like I'm at a point where we are pretty stable in this like weird season, if that makes sense, where we're still going through stuff and I'm still having emotions about what's going on in our lives, but it isn't fresh anymore. And so I also feel like I miss talking to you guys. I miss having these chatty videos and chatty sections of vlogs. And so I'm gonna just kind of tell you what's been going on in our lives, a little just update of the past couple weeks, couple months, and just how we're doing, and also some really exciting updates. Okay, so if you are new here, I'm Emily Geddes. I have not changed my last name legally to Geddes, so you might see some stuff as Emily Grinstead, but I just got married to the love of my life, Justin, who spells it Justen, like 10, the number, back on December 31st, New Year's Eve of 2023. We met exactly a year prior, and we have been married for almost 5 months now. Wait, is that right? Yes, almost 5 months. Math is hard. He is a mathematician. I am an almost women's health nurse practitioner, and we just love sharing our lives online. I love sharing. He kind of is along for the ride and is very, very willing and very kind to be here for all of my random pictures and videos and stuff, and is just such a sweet, supportive husband, and I love him so much. So I have had my YouTube channel for a few years now. I make mostly lifestyle content, but I've also touched on like my nursing journey since I've been a nurse for a few years. I'm now almost a nurse practitioner, dating, relationships, my faith. I am a Christian. My husband and I both are, and just how our faith intersects with different areas of our lives. Fitness, my history with an eating disorder, just kind of all sorts of different videos to hopefully encourage you and inspire you to see the connection between your faith and different areas of your life, and hopefully help you to just live a more like purposeful, intentional, and joyful life. So that is who I am and kind of the purpose of my different social media outlets. I'm also on Instagram and now TikTok, which don't worry, I am only reposting like shorts and reels on there. I don't think I'm gonna be a TikTok girl. So that's that. I also have a blog, Pinterest, Like to Know It, just different little outlets that you can find down in the description of this video. But yeah, that's kind of us. Right now, I am about to graduate from my nurse practitioner program. So where we're at right now is Justin and I actually leave tomorrow for Washington, D.C. We'll be there for a few days. I graduate on Friday. My program that I've been doing my nurse practitioner program at is at Georgetown University. I've been getting my master's, and I will be a women's health nurse practitioner once I take my board exam, which is part of the chaos life updates of all of this. Is I don't know when I'm going to be taking that exam, but just to back up, we've got that trip coming up. We're going to be in DC for a few days, and then we're going out to California actually for my little sister's college graduation, and my whole family will be out there, like my immediate family plus Justin. We're also going to Disneyland for a day as well. So we're literally going to be like East Coast, fly across to the West Coast, go to Disney, and then fly back early next week. Yes, so it's gonna be kind of crazy, whirlwind, like week-long trip, but it'll be so fun to have my graduation, celebrate with my husband and my parents, go to Disney. We grew up going to Disney pretty often, like every few years growing up. We've only been to Disneyland a couple times, and so this will be really fun. This will be Justin's first time going to Disneyland. He has gone to Disney World once, but he only went to Animal Kingdom, which is just a very interesting experience. So we're gonna have him have a real true first Disney experience, and then we're actually going to Disney World this summer, and that's a whole different story. So I'm so excited to get to introduce him to my love of Disney. Of course, I've got my little Disney mug here, so that's gonna be a super special trip for us. Also, side note, y'all, it is raining. Not crazy hard right now, but if you have a hard time hearing me, I'll try to like adjust the audio when I edit this video and make it more reflective of my actual voice and not just the rain, but forgive me if you have a harder time hearing me. But yeah, that is kind of our trip that is coming up. We're super pumped about that. We have been traveling a ton recently. We actually have had 6 trips so far this year, which is crazy. We had our honeymoon in January. I went to a medical conference in February, and then he went back home to New York for a funeral. So that's each kind of had like an individual trip. Then we went to a family wedding on my side in March, and then we had 3 trips in April to the Outer Banks beach trip, which you guys saw that vlog. And then we went to Denver, Colorado, which I'll tell you more about that later. And then we went to Nashville, Tennessee the last weekend of April to watch his friend run a marathon, and Justin ran a 10K at the Nashville like rock and roll races, and that was super fun. I was like the soccer mom there, carrying all the bags and just, you know, cheering the guys on. I originally was gonna run the half marathon in that race, and Justin was gonna run the marathon, but we both just got super sick this spring. Like every month we got some sort of sickness. We both had COVID in February. I just honestly got so tired with school, and I really just took on too much trying to train for a half marathon on top of my semester, studying, job hunt, being a new wife, like figuring out how to be married. And so it was just too much, and I'm really thankful that we both decided to just kind of hang back from those races and just enjoy watching our friend race. So that's kind of where we've been the past couple weeks. I finished my semester, oh gosh, April 9th, I believe. I had this big thing called the comprehensive exam, or comps. If you've probably seen me talk about that on like Instagram stories and stuff, I posted a little picture with like a cake saying she did it once I finished and passed my comps. And that was really, really stressful. Comps are basically a practice board exam for us. And so to become a nurse practitioner, you have to take a board exam is what it's called. It's your licensure exam that makes you a legal nurse practitioner. And in order to prepare for that, most schools will have you take something called a comprehensive exam, or comps, where it's basically a fake board exam. And so I took that. I actually did very well. Got the high score, which was super exciting, from my little cohort of women's health NP students. And once that was over, I actually got sick right before the last week of school and wasn't able to go for my last week of clinical. And I love my clinical site. I love my preceptor. I actually was with her for a whole year, so all of my clinical rotations were at this one rural OBGYN practice in North Carolina. And it was honestly really weird and sad to not get to go and finish out my time there. And it's something that I wasn't expecting. It's like you hear that saying of, you don't know how good it was until it was gone, or you know, when you don't get to say a goodbye how you imagined it, it's really hard. Don't get me wrong, I was definitely ready for my rotation there to end. The drive was over an hour and a half for me each way, and I was doing that at least like 2-3 times a week. And so it was getting really tiring going out there, and I was just ready to get my hours in and be done with the semester. But I was expecting to have a whole nother week there and get to say goodbye to everyone, like give my preceptor a hug and thank her. And I did end up sending her a little gift and card in the mail, which was great. But it was just such an abrupt ending to the semester, where I got sick, couldn't go to clinical, had my last exam, and then I was done. And really since then, it's been a little over a month now, like 5 weeks since that all happened. I have been in such a weird limbo of just not knowing what to do with myself. And I don't do great in that kind of space. I really like to have stuff to do. I like to be busy. I like to have work. I like to have projects. And if I don't have something like that, like a paid job that's keeping me going, I will create projects for myself. And so thankfully right now I am not working. I haven't been working for a little over a year because my program became full-time with class. So I actually don't know what I was just saying. Let me back up and think about what I was saying. Not doing well without, oh yes. So basically I have not been working since my program became full-time, which is such a blessing. Like now having a husband, like I don't have to be working right this second, but I will start work in the fall as a nurse practitioner. And so kind of how I've been filling my time is doing more content creation type stuff, like trying to stay consistent with YouTube, trying to get more active on Instagram, exploring like Pinterest, TikTok, other ways to just share my content that I've already made. And I'm also trying to monetize my content. And so I've joined different like affiliate programs and finding little ways to start making money with content, which I've kind of put off for a while because I just told myself I need to wait until I'm monetized through YouTube with AdSense, which takes a long time. And I kind of regret not monetizing my content in other ways sooner. But I'm such a perfectionist, and I'm like, oh, I need to wait till I get this many followers or this much engagement or whatever. But that's not true. There are so many ways to actually make some sort of revenue from content you're putting out. And I just had this realization with myself this year where I was like, Emily, we spend so much time making videos and learning how to improve our editing and social media marketing strategies and all this stuff just in my free time, like while I've been a full-time grad student. And it is so fun, and I've been doing it for years for fun. And my accounts don't have these huge followings, and that's totally okay. Obviously, I would love for them to grow. That's not the point of what I'm doing, of why I'm doing what I'm doing. But at the same time, I am putting so much time into this stuff that I would love to get paid for it in some capacity. I don't think this will ever be my full-time job. I've always just kind of seen it as a sort of side hobby, passion project, side hustle. But as I anticipate working as a full-time nurse practitioner in the next 5 or so months, I want to keep this up. But I think to actually motivate myself to keep it up in the little time that I will have then, I need to be paid for it in some capacity. So that's kind of how I've been spending my time, is just like doing all the routine things, trying to work out, eat well, you know, keep the house tidy, life admin, adult type things, errands, keeping up with emails. I'm taking some continuing education classes right now, and then just doing content creation. So I've kind of like made my own little like part-time, full-time schedule load, if you will. I am definitely taking lots of breaks throughout the day, like going to the pool, you know, texting friends back, catching up with people. I'm not like doing a full-time workload of all this stuff, but I am definitely keeping active and busy, which has been really helpful. But I can only do that for so long, you guys. And what has been really hard lately is we are waiting on answers in a lot of areas. So my big news, I feel like I've been hinting at for a while now on like blog and social media outlets and stuff, is I did get a job, and it is in a different state. And you can probably guess where it is based on the trips that we've gone on. I'm not going to say exactly where it is because I am trying to have good boundaries and not be like, we're moving here for this type of job, but you can kind of use some context clues to put it together. I did get a formal job offer for my dream job at this amazing clinic that is not in our state. And we have been in negotiations, emailing back and forth, and I am literally just waiting on my contract to come in. And I am not the most patient person. I feel like the Lord is definitely cultivating this fruit of the Spirit in me, but as someone who is more anxious and just is ready to like be official with this and start making moves to like see friends for the last time and make it official and like announce it, it has been really hard to wait. And granted, most of our like close people in our lives have known about this for weeks. I mean, we had the interview and shadowing and all this stuff like over about a month ago now, and it was just the best experience. Like, we feel like it's such an answered prayer. The doctor I'll be working with, the clinic, is absolutely amazing. Like, cannot say enough good things. It's just the hard waiting period of like getting all our ducks in a row and getting a lawyer to look over things and officially signing. And so I have been making myself wait to like officially announce it until I sign a contract, even though I have formally accepted the offer via email. So that's been really hard because we like know that we're moving and we know where, and we like even have our apartment kind of figured out, but we want to be able to share that. And so I feel like as someone who is doing content creation on the side, it is so hard for me to like put things in boxes and separate. Okay, like I have this giant piece of news that I can't tell all my friends online. And so what am I going to share about right now? And school is done, and I was sharing a lot about school and nurse practitioner journey, and I can't really share about that because that's also on pause because I can't sign up for my board exam until after graduation. And y'all, I do not do well without a deadline, and so I have barely been studying for boards. But granted, I did so well in my program and on that comprehensive exam, I feel like I just need some minimal review. But if I don't have a date for this test, I am not motivated to actually study, and so I am just kind of waiting until graduation rolls around this Friday. Hopefully my transcript degree all gets in their system, and then I can actually get a notification of like, hey, you can sign up. So I'm thinking I'll take it early June at this point. And so I've just been in limbo with school stuff, like not feeling fully finished there because I have to graduate, take boards, all of that. Like, what am I doing? And then like this dream job that's right here, we're ready to like pounce on it, make moves, like get our apartment, share it with the world, like do all the things is here. We're also waiting to figure out what's happening with travel, because once I sign the contract, we can actually make moves with Justin's job. He can decide if he's leaving or extending his contract. We can figure out what's happening with like salary and health insurance and like travel plans for for the summer. And so it feels like everything in our life is on hold right now. And that is so hard for me. And I've talked about it in some blog posts. I think my last 2 blog posts I've touched on it. And maybe you're listening to this and you're like, this is silly. Like, she has everything and, you know, life is going great for her. And why is this stressful? And like, yes, objectively, like, I am so thankful for my life right now. Like, I'm married to my best friend. Like, we are cared for and are living like safe, happy, healthy lives, and we like are financially provided for and like are doing well and just finished an amazing grad program and get to travel, and like all of those things you see on the outside are going well and they're blessings I am so thankful for. But at the same time, like, everyone goes through their stuff that you just don't see online, and I have definitely been in kind of a struggle bus season the last month. And my sweet husband just kind of called me out the other day. He was like, Emily, I feel like you've been viewing things really negatively lately. And I feel like I'm a very practical person. Like, I'm not someone who's super cheery, positive all the time, but I'm also not like down in the dumps all the time either. But I like to think I lean more positive. And so when he said that, I was like, dang, I need to work on my outlook, because I have really been viewing my life and like day to day and circumstances from the perspective of all of the question marks in life right now. And it's been stressful and anxiety inducing, and I feel like I've been living in my head a lot and just kind of swirling around, like not knowing what to do with my time and how to, like, what to pray for. And it has just been a very like weird limbo, twilight zone, kind of confusing season, which has made it really hard for me to share online. It's like, what do I vlog about when like nothing's going on in our life? Like, I can't share about any of these big things because they're all on hold. You know, I feel like my life isn't very interesting right now. Like, I'm just kind of doing content and life stuff and like random little medical continuing education stuff on the side, which has been really fun. But it's been a weird spot where I'm used to making certain types of vlogs and, you know, posts and stuff online, and now I'm just like, what do I do with myself? So we're having like kind of a content identity crisis in a way, where I'm trying to kind of figure out where I want to land social media wise, what I want to share about, and how to have these big unanswered on hold questions and have that boundary of, okay, I'm not going to share about like where we're moving to and all that until it is in writing legally, just for my own sake, because I feel like that's the professional thing to do, but I still want to be able to process it with you guys, because I love sharing online. I love connecting with people. I love making new friends. Some of my real life friends are people I've met online. And so that is all my long-winded way to say, like, we've been on a little mini struggle bus. There's been a lot going on, a lot of unanswered questions, but also so many exciting things happening. And I feel like that's also been a hard part, because I want to share the full story of these exciting things. Like with that job in particular and the move, there's so much behind the scenes and so many cool God moments along the way, from when I first found this clinic last year to reaching out to them, like the timing of things, the way that God has just like orchestrated different people and places and conversations. It has been so beautiful. And even just saying this out loud, like, this is helping me, like, okay, yes, like the Lord's hand is in this, it is going to come to fruition. Like, I just need that contract. And yeah, I'm so eager to share about that. I feel like I don't have much to share in general, like positive or negative, because I can't quite yet. And so that's just very frustrating as someone who is very open and sharing her life online. So that's kind of what's been going on for us. But yeah, other positive things, we've gotten to do some really fun travels. Justin and I also just feel like in the past 4 or 5 months, like, it's kind of like a little marriage update for y'all, we have been so good. And of course, like, things aren't perfect and we have our own arguments. And I feel like we have learned a lot in the past 4 or 5 months. We were just talking about this the other night, and that we have definitely gone through our fair share of conflicts. And we even had a conflict the other day that like wasn't our best, but for the grand majority of the times that we're arguing, we have grown so much, and our communication is even stronger, and like we just feel so comfortable with each other, and like we're just best friends, and it's been so sweet. And marriage has been so much better than I expected, and also so much more like chill than I expected to. I think I came into it hearing a lot of, oh my gosh, just the worst thing ever, and just wait until you've been married this many years, and wait until you have kids, and all of that negative advice that is just really not kind and not helpful, and often comes from people who are projecting their own grief and own negative experiences. And we really intentionally chose just to kind of tune that out and to listen to the people who we really trusted and whose advice we were accepting of, because we know that obviously marriage is going to be hard, and it's going to be difficult and it's going to take work, but we're choosing to believe this is a good gift from the Lord, and this is something that's beautiful and something that's holy and ordained, and it also is what we make it too. And so if we're going to choose to see it as something that's beautiful and holy and a gift, then we need to uplift that and act accordingly to that, and act in accordance to how we see this gift. And that has been really, really helpful. I feel like we've just been so goofy and having so much fun, like being kids and just being each other's best friend and doing silly things. Like, I think I made an Instagram reel about this, and that I definitely thought marriage would be like spicy all the time, because obviously we waited to have sex until we got married, which was the best decision ever. Oh my gosh, like, cannot recommend enough. And because we waited, there's all this tension and build up, and you're like, oh my goodness, you know, we're just gonna be like doing this all the time. And that's just not the case. Like, yes, it is a part of our marriage, and as it should be, it's important, and bonding and all of that, but we just don't think about it that much. And I think that's really good. Like, it's there, it's important, we prioritize it, but it's not something we're like obsessing over all the time. Like, I thought about sex way more when we were engaged, when I was single, than I do now as a married woman. And I think it's just really funny. Like, we think a lot more about our friendship than we do about like our sexual relationship. So yeah, that's been really sweet. It's been a sweet surprise, and I think that's how it is supposed to be, right? Because your relationship with the Lord and your friendship with each other is like the foundation of your marriage. So that's been really cool and really sweet to just think about. I mean, we just like love being together, and when I'm at home during the day right now and he's at work, literally most of our texts all day are like, I love you, I miss you, I just want to snuggle, I just want to watch a movie, like, can't wait till you come home. So that's been really sweet. I was just checking the time to make sure that we are good, and I need to head out pretty soon to go get my nails done, which is very exciting. We're gonna start a pack and prep with me for this trip right after we finish this video, and I'll edit this after my nail appointment and get it up for later today. But let me think of any other updates for you guys. Really talked about like the travel, just like job situation, NP stuff, kind of being in this weird no man's land of life right now. I guess, yeah, let me just think. Like, I think through all of this, there has been so much newness, and I wrote about this in yesterday's blog post. Today is Tuesday, right? Yes, Monday's blog post, because I do blog posts on Mondays, or I try to at least. And it has been such a year, if there's a theme of 2024 so far, it's been such a year of newness. Being a newlywed person, wife, a new graduate nurse practitioner, like new even to trying to get more active in social media and content creation, and figuring that out as this kind of new stage of I want to get monetized and grow my platforms and stuff and try out new things. New in moving to a new place where we're going to be brand new and only know a couple people and have to make new friends. There's so many new things going on, and I'm over here like, we are not pregnant and we're not planning to be anytime soon. That would be a whole lot of new at once. Obviously, we're very open to that happening whenever, and like very excited for when it happens, but I'm over here praying like, Lord, not right now. That's too many new things, and new travels together. Like, it's so much, and it's all good stuff, and that's why I felt hesitant to even make this video and like open up to about what's been going on, because it's all good things and also exciting. But even when your life is going well and you have all these like exciting celebrations and changes happening, like we have our wedding, which was phenomenal, like beautiful, big, luxurious wedding that was so amazing and we're so grateful for, and then like graduations and all these fun trips and new job and moving, and we might even get a dog later this year. Like, all of these kind of mountaintop moments, it is still okay to have hard emotions around them. And I feel like, I hope that that's what you guys get from this video, if you're in a similar spot, or maybe you are seeing someone like me or whoever else online and being like, oh my gosh, like her life's great, she has all these fun things happening. And it's true, like the fun things are fun, but even when you go on vacation, as you guys probably know, like there's still times when you're grumpy and you're upset, or you woke up on the wrong side of the bed and you're in a bad mood. Even when you're in Hawaii, for example. And so it's never gonna be perfect. Like, these moments are fun, but it comes with high emotions, like big highs, big lows. And I know, at least for myself, I can feel really guilty when I am struggling or just having a hard time with some aspect of a really good thing. Like right now, when I am feeling more anxious and in my head because I am waiting for the contract for my dream job offer to come through, this amazing, huge blessing where I could have gotten rejected from it. I could have had it taken away. And so far, like, it seems like God has opened all the doors for this thing. And yet I'm over here anxious and just in my head waiting for this to be legally official, it's okay for those things to both exist, and that like to both exist at the same time. And that's a lesson I've had to relearn so many times over and over of you can have celebration and joy and gratitude and also be upset and frustrated and anxious, and obviously you don't want to dwell in those more negative emotions and like choose to stay in it. But I think letting yourself feel it, process through it, talk to a therapist, pray about it, etc. is really healthy, so you're not shoving them down. But once you've kind of moved through it, just choosing to set it aside, trying to shift your perspective and your attitude to be more positive and grateful, and like handing over those negative emotions to the Lord. That has been a process and just kind of trajectory emotionally that has helped me a lot, and something that I definitely want to try to focus on more as I'm still in this weird limbo season. So that is my word for you guys. I hope that is helpful and maybe lands with someone out there. Honestly, whenever I share stuff like that, my hope is just like that one person will be like, that was for me, and you know, the Lord sent me this video, or I needed to hear that today. So I hope that was helpful. I love you guys. I really appreciate you watching. Jesus loves you more, of course. And I hope you stick around for our next video. I think Friday will be pack and prep for this trip, and then next week I should have vlogs up from the trip. I'm gonna do a 2-part vlog, one of like DC graduation and one of Disney California. That's the plan right now. We're gonna try to stick with 2 videos a week, and then once I start my job in the fall, we'll do 1 video a week, but I will warn you guys about that much later on. But anyways, enough of me talking. I'm gonna go get my nails done and listen to some podcasts. I will see y'all later. Bye.